Mason Razavi. I'm from San Jose, California. I've always loved solo jazz guitar. I think as a teenager hearing Joe Pass for the first time was kind of mind-blowing, and hearing somebody play all that, playing the melodies and the harmonies and the bass lines, and thinking that you could actually do that and make it up on the fly over the form of a tune at that time seemed like totally unattainable. A big challenge is that it feels like you can never take your hands off the instrument. When you're playing in a group, you can take your hands off the instrument and just listen for a moment and get some feedback from the other players and get some ideas from other players. Whereas if you're playing solo, it feels like if you don't play for a second, the earth is falling out from beneath your feet. So it feels like you have to fill up all the space all the time, and I think that's a challenge to try to get over that, because it's not always very musical to fill up all the space all the time. So even if I'm playing, on a bandstand with a group and I'm taking a solo, my priority is I'm trying to structure a solo. I'm not always successful at that, but that's where I would like to go. And it's the same thing with solo guitar playing. It's trying to, when you have a take or a track, it's trying to build something over the course of that time that makes musical sense, that has some logic to it and some flow to it that makes sense. It's kind of a puzzle, but it's also really neat and musical when it works out. What I love is sometimes you see this with older classical musicians, and you'll see they played a concert somewhere and the reviewer or the critic will say something along the lines of, yes, this person's 80 years old and they made some technical errors, but you can tell they've been living with the piece for 50 years. And I just love that. There is something that you bring into a piece of music, the longer you sit with it and play with it and sort of tweak it and try different things and interpret it different ways. It's interesting to me, and because, before I leave this planet, I'd like to be as good at doing this thing as I can be, and that's a worthy way to spend your time. It's a worthy pursuit. It's a positive way to spend your time, and, really just trying to get as good as you can as an art form. It's just a really beautiful thing. It's, I think, one of the few kind of pure and beautiful and noble pursuits,